Hello, my name is Blake Powell, and today I'm going to be showing you how to import a loan into Point and take a full 1003 application. First off, we're going to open a blank document. It's going to be a prospect, and you're going to find the state that you're doing the loan in. So in this case, we're going to do Prospect, Indiana. It's going to open up a blank application, and it's going to show us things that need to be filled in, and this will be taken care of once we import the data. Now this is a lead that we had contacted in Velocify, and we had exported and saved to our desktop, and now we're going to import it. That will have been shown to you in the Velocify module. To import, we're going to go to File, Import From, and then because we exported as a Fannie Mae, we're going to import as a Fannie Mae. So once we click on this, it's going to pop open a new window so we can find where we saved our loan. The reason we save it on the desktop is just because it's easiest to find, and then you can go ahead and delete that after you're done importing it. Or if you want to create a folder to put it in, that's fine too. So here is our file. We're going to double click it or press open. It's going to populate all the information that was in the Velocify lead form. And then we have to go through and fill out the information that did not populate. For instance, middle initial, suffix, ask if they're the first, second, third, social security number, date of birth, and then their phone numbers, home phone, cell phone, business phone, and which one is the best for them to be reached at. Email address. Then this section has their present address, whether they own it or rent it, and how long they have been there. And then the subject property. If the subject property is the same as their present address, which in most refinance cases it is, then we're just going to click Copy from Present Address. This is where we do the loan program and the closing cost scenarios. That will be gone over in another portion of the module. Originator, you're going to drop down, you're going to find your name and then your processor's name. This is where we pick which type of loan it is. And if it's a purchase, cash out, refi, or no cash out, we're just going to do cash out, refinance for right now. This section right here is going to be about the property and the loan amount. So what they think the appraised value is and what they have left to be paid on their current mortgage or mortgages that they would like paid off. Income details, this is going to be how much money they bring in per month. So if they give you their yearly salary, then you just take that and divide it by 12 and populate it in here. Their first mortgage is going to go in here, how much it is, their insurance, their taxes, if they have mortgage insurance, and this is their other obligations. Now up here is the co-borrower information, and that's going to be the exact same over here if they're going to have a co-borrower on the loan with them. The credit scores will be populated once we pull credit, which will be shown here in a few minutes. Once all that information is complete, we're going to go to page 1 of the application. All the information that's put in on the prospect information page that's relevant to other pages is going to automatically populate for you, like the purchase price, loan amount, things of that nature. Here we're going to put how many units they are at the current subject property, and the year it was built, the legal description, and what property type, if it's detached, detached, condominium, etc. We had already said it's a cash out refinance, so that's going to carry over here. And that's going to open up this section right here, where we're going to fill out all this information on their current loan. So the purpose of the refinance, do they have a prepaid penalty? What improvements have they done to the home? How much did that cost them? Things of that nature. And also, who the title will be held in, the names. So if we click this box, that's going to populate the first name for the borrower. Now, if there's going to be somebody, in this case there's no co-borrower, if there's going to be someone else on the title, then we would put their name here, and that's not going to affect the loan. Click here, this is going to be a single man. And then this is where we get into the borrower information. Now all this information will have already populated, so all we're going to need to do is just put their years in school. And then we're going to ask married, unmarried, or separated. How many kids they have and the ages of those kids. The present address is already populated. The mailing address, if it's the same as the present address, we're just going to click this box. It's going to populate all that. And then also former addresses if they haven't been in that place for at least 2 years. Same thing goes for the co-borrower. Once we're done with that, we're going to go to page 2 of the application. Now this is the employment information section. So we're going to put who they currently work for. The name, the address, the city, the state, the zip code, their position, the business phone will have already populated. Years on the line of work, and then years on the job. So it's a two-part question. You're going to ask them how long have they been with that company, years on the job, and then how long have they been in doing work in that specific field. This is where we can add additional employers if they haven't been with this current employer for at least 2 years. Same thing for the co-borrower. This information will have populated over from the prospect information page, and it is everything that has to do with the money they bring in from that current job. If they get money from any additional income, then we will put here what that is. If it's Social Security, pension, you name it, that will go here. This information will have populated over from the prospect information page, and this is the proposed loan, what we're doing for them, so it's kind of a comparison. Then we're going to page 3. This is where we will do the assets and liability and also pull their credit. In here, this is where you're going to put their checking and savings account. To do that, you just click New, which type of asset it is. If it's a savings, we can put savings in Chase. And then you can use Save and New, so it's going to open a new box and put that one here, or Save and Close, and it's going to exit out of it. This is where we're going to put their 401k or any additional money they get from retirement funds. And this is their liability section, which is found on their credit. The credit report will be going over on a different section of this module, but this is where you do it. This is if they have any alimony or child support that they must pay. And then this is where we're going to match the liability to their current the subject property. So to do that, we would find the mortgage once we pulled the credit, and we would match it to that. And then on page 4, we're going to scroll down to the declarations, and this is questions that we must ask them. These are yes or no questions for both the borrower and if there's a co-borrower. So we're going to go through. If they say yes, put a Y. If they say no, put an N. Once we get done with that, then the final process, getting towards the end, is the information for government monitoring purposes. So the first question is asking them, do they wish to furnish this information? Yes or no. If they say yes, then we go on, ask them their ethnicity, race, and sex. And then this app was taken. In most cases, it's going to be over the telephone. Your originator and NMLS license number already populate. Phone number is your current office number. So in our Indiana case, it would be 317-845-4391. And that's important for SureDocs. Email populates, interview date. We're just going to put today's date. And that is how you take a full, complete application.